gentlemen and beautiful ladies. Alright guys, this morning what we're going to make is some dirty rice. And it's on the cheap. It's just rice and get you some meat. We're using chicken hearts. Look at this. You get almost 2 pounds for $1.72. And of course 3 cups of rice. That's real cheap. You need some celery. You need some onion. You need some bell pepper. I'm going to throw in one of these big jobs right here. Chicken bouillon cubes. It's just that simple. Just throw in there what you like. But you're going to need some meat. A lot of people use ground meat. You can grind up the hearts if you're not. I'm just going to actually kind of dice them up a little bit because I like something in that rice that's chewy. And chicken hearts are chewy. And it just gives it that good flavor. So on the cheap, you can make more rice, add less meat, or add more meat like I'm doing and have less rice. Because I'm a meat guy, I'm not a rice guy. So you could stretch this out. You could feed probably a dozen people if you made like 8 cups of rice and just added this. Hell, you could probably make 10 cups of rice and add this and just be just fine. You know, it's a cheap meal. So let's get this going. Now the first thing you're going to need is some stock. After you've cooked your rice, however much rice you're going to cook, just cook the rice. And cook it on the dry side. You don't want a bunch of mushy rice. You know, don't add 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. I go 1 to 1. Because you want that rice kind of dry. Get you a little pot here. Put in a couple of cups of water. Some chicken bouillon cubes. And then take your chicken hearts and just cut them up. And that's going to make some chicken stock. Yeah, this is for the chicken stock right here. You can see I put in the chicken bouillon and the hearts. And we're just going to boil it. Now some of these chicken hearts I think you got out of Jeffrey Dahmer's refrigerator. They were awful big. So we're going to cut them all up. Now like I said, green onion, bell pepper, celery. Kind of like a gumbo mix. You don't have to use these green onions. I just prefer them. You just use a regular onion if you want. So let's chop this up. I make my stuff all different sizes. I'm not worried about it being perfect because it's all going to melt anyway, mostly. Plus I like the crunch. Make it real small, it just turns into mush. Let's chop up some celery. I like doing this. Let me sample your wares. Vegetables are chopped. Now at this point, take some of this celery, some of this bell pepper, some of this onion, and put it in the stock. Okay, let's cut up these chicken hearts. Like I said, I like my pieces big. A lot of people don't. You could grind these if you wanted to, but I like stuff to chew on. Some of these may still be whole in here when I cook them. That's fine. That's just a nice big nugget of meat. And if you got some Dove in the freezer, which I do, but I had enough of this, you can use that. I always prefer dirty rice. It's got to be dark meat, real dark meat. Something grainy tasting or minerally tasting, like chicken hearts. Hell, I guess you could use chicken livers, but that's just going too far for me. I'm not a chicken liver guy or liver guy. I got buddies though that eat that crap. I can't do it. Just not my thing. Now I know some of y'all going, where's the garlic? Well, I'm not rolling the Italian expressway today. Just gonna hang off with the garlic. I do like garlic, but I'm just not adding it into this. Just add what you want. You know, there's nobody gonna show up at your door going, hey, you're doing it wrong. Except commenters on YouTube. They'll show up and tell me I'm doing it wrong. But that's okay. This is pretty good stuff, and it's like I said, this is on the cheap. And you can stuff this into bell peppers too, and then have stuffed bell peppers out of it. Alright, let's get this stuff in a pot. We're going to mix it around. I guess saute it with some butter. Gonna add some butter. I've had a lot of butter. I guess you could use magic butter, bacon grease. That'd be just fine too, but it might give it a bacony flavor. So I'm just not going that route. Dump these in there. Like I said, there's a lot of meat. I could get away with just using that much meat, for 3 cups of rice, 4 cups of rice. But like I said, I'm a meat eater. I want something to chew on. Now we got to talk some seasonings. I'm going to add some Texas lumbre. I only got a little bit left, so I'm going to roll with that. Main thing I'm going to do is add salt. I like salt. You got to have your salt. And pepper. Lots of pepper. You want lots of pepper. Probably run the batteries out of this thing. Like I said, I'm going to use the Texas lumbre in this. Another one bites the dust. Now a lot of y'all are going to be going, oh, you always add so much salt it makes my blood pressure high. Well, if you got a bullet wound or stab wound, you're going to want your blood pressure high. Little preventative medicine right there. That's what I call it. Now these bad boys got a whole lot of juice in them, as you can tell. So I'm going to pour some of that juice off into the stock. Because I don't want to throw it away. That's where all your flavor is. I'm trying to burn it down, but there's just so much water out of that. Definitely going to put it into the stock so we can reincorporate it into the rice. Of course, I poured it out of the wrong side of the pot. Now I got to clean that up. Now right there is where you want to be. You want to get that stuff sizzling. I may be using too many vegetables, but I hate cutting up a half a bell pepper and then it sits in the refrigerator and turns into this weird looking old lady. Okay. Gonna get these vegetables in here. Want to break them all down. And just keep stirring these around. You want to break down all these vegetables. And like I said, this probably isn't the standard looking dirty rice mix that you're used to. But this definitely put a belly on you. My wife will not be eating this because I know she'll look at that and go, I ain't eating that crap. Because she ain't a big fan of chicken hearts either. But just keep adding the stock back in. You don't want a slurry mess, but you want enough in there so you can get those bits of goo off the bottom of the pot. Plus all that flavor is going back in there. And just keep breaking down these vegetables. But you can break them down as far. I could add the rice right now and be done with it, but I want my vegetables kind of really broke down on this. So I'm just going to keep on stirring and cooking until that's down to where I want it. Now I almost forgot, you got to have some heat. So I'm going with my zombie dust. You can use Slap Your Mama, whatever you want to go to a cayenne mix, but you got to have some kick on the dirty rice. But if you're a Yankee, you probably don't want to do that. Now at some point in this process, you want to taste one of these chicken hearts, like this. Oh man. That is awesome. And it's got a nice peppery kick on it. Hell yeah. Now I've been stirring this on probably medium-high heat and adding the stock back in for the last 10 minutes or so. Now I'm going to call it right there. I'm going to go get my rice, and we're going to put the rice in here. And hopefully the rice won't suck up so much of the flavor. I'm going to have to add more seasoning. That's the deal. The rice sucks up everything. And I turn the heat down to probably a medium, or actually a low heat. So I got time to get this rice in here. Turn it down to a real low heat now. I'm going to add a bunch of this right there while I put in this rice. That'll keep it all from sticking. Plus the rice will suck up all that flavor. And add more of that chicken stock back in there. That's a big old pot of rice right there. Now that rice, it sucked up all that fluid I put in there, so we're going to put the rest of that stock in there. Just mixing around. You can tell the color's looking pretty damn good. And what you want to do is get anything that's sticking on the bottom of this pot loose and into your rice. Then you want to dry it out some. Kind of mash it down. That'll bust down some of them little rice grains. Damn it. That's starting to look pretty darn good. And you can see what I'm talking about. You can see the big chunks of meat in there. Turn this heat up a little bit so we can get this to dry out. That's it, y'all. Turned off the heat. Just gonna keep stirring it because I don't want it to stick and burn on the bottom. Sure smells good though, I'll tell you that. Now y'all, that's how I do my dirty rice. Maybe not as conventional as others, but you can look at the results and the flavor is there. Pepper's the key. Actually, let's give this a taste. It's really tasty. And like I said, if you got a mess of doves, you could just use the dove breast instead of the chicken hearts. Like I said, I used to like using gut meat basically for this. A lot of people like the liver. I'm not a liver guy, I just can't go there, so this is what you get. Yeah, it's good. It's real good. Give this a shot. And like I said, the ingredient amounts, you can see how much vegetable I had. It all kind of disappeared. So, winning, right? So, anyway, I'm going to go eat my breakfast. Let me just stand here and torture y'all. Ooh. Now, it's got some pepper. That zombie kicks it up. It's got the regular pepper. And, of course, the lumbre's in there, too. But, you know, if you're at the house, just make sure you add a little bit of cayenne to it. But black pepper for sure. And lots of salt. Because that rice just sucks everything up. Ooh. I'm going to get a little sweat bead. That's going to be good. Alright, y'all. I appreciate you watching. Yeah. It was good. And it was a little bit warm. I'm sweating.